Have you ever set a huge, life-changing goal only to feel completely paralyzed by how big it is? Well, we're going to look at a powerful philosophy from Japan that just flips that whole idea on its head. It shows us that real, lasting discipline, it doesn't come from these giant leaps, but from really, really small, consistent actions. Come on, you know the feeling, right? It's New Year's Day, and you're all in. This is the year you're finally going to write that book, or run a marathon, or become fluent in Spanish. But then, February rolls around, and all that motivation just seems to have evaporated. So what gives? Why does this keep happening? It's this super common, frustrating cycle, and it turns out the problem isn't you, it's the way we're taught to approach change. And this, right here, is the idea that changes the whole game. We're always told that to change your life, you need to make these radical, sweeping moves. But this way of thinking suggests something much quieter, and honestly, a lot more powerful. It's not about a sudden revolution in your life, it's about a steady, daily evolution. So what's the secret sauce? It's this number, 1%. That's it. The whole goal isn't to become a totally new person overnight. Nope, it's just about getting 1% better every single day. I know, it sounds almost too simple to actually work, but trust me, this is the key to building unbelievable momentum over time. Okay, so let's get into our first big idea, the science of small wins. We're going to dig into the why behind this, why focusing on these tiny little improvements isn't just easier, but why it's actually what your brain is wired for. This 1% idea actually has a name. It's called Kaizen. It's a Japanese concept that basically means continuous, tiny improvement. You might have heard of it in the business world for making companies better, but its real power, I think, is in our personal lives. It is all about making small, manageable changes over and over again. And here's where you can really see the difference. That massive goal approach, it's super high pressure. The reward is so far off in the future that it's just really easy to give up. But the Kaizen way, the micro habit, is the complete opposite. There's almost no pressure. You get that little hit of success right away. It's designed to be so small that you pretty much can't fail. And there's some really cool, simple science behind why this works so well. You see, every single time you complete one of these tiny habits, reading just one page of a book, doing one push-up, your brain gives you a little reward. It releases a chemical called dopamine. That's your brain's feel-good chemical. And it creates this amazing feedback loop. Your brain basically goes, hey, that was nice. I liked that. Let's do that again tomorrow. You're literally training your brain to love making progress. All right, so we've talked about our internal world, our habits. Now let's shift gears and look at our external world. Principle number 2 is all about the science of clear space. It explores this incredible link between the environment around you and the environment inside your own head. And for this, we turn to another brilliant Japanese concept, danshari. Now, this is way more than just tidying up your messy desk. It's a whole philosophy. The idea is to declutter your physical life in order to declutter your mind. The goal here is to create a space that helps you feel calm and focused, just by getting rid of the stuff you don't need. You know, there is a real biological reason this works. When your eyes see a cluttered, messy room, your brain sees a bunch of unfinished tasks. And this actually triggers a low-level stress response. Your body releases a hormone called cortisol. And that cortisol, it leads directly to that feeling of mental fog, making it so much harder to focus on anything. So the fix is actually beautifully straightforward. When you practice danshari, even if it's just taking 5 minutes to clear off your kitchen counter, you are actively lowering those stress-inducing cortisol levels in your brain. And that directly leads to better focus and a much calmer mind. It's so direct. A clear space really does help create a clear mind. So we've gone through the what and the why. Now let's bring it all home and talk about the how. How can you actually put this into practice like today? It all comes down to taking that first tiny step. So let's just do a quick recap of the big ideas. It really boils down to this. First, forget about the giant life overhaul. Just focus on getting that 1% better every day. Second, embrace Kaizen. Celebrate those little wins and let that dopamine work its magic. And third, practice danshari. Clear your physical space to give yourself that amazing gift of mental clarity. Look, this isn't just some interesting theory. It's an invitation to act. So I'll leave you with this one question. What is your 1% improvement for today? What is one tiny, almost laughably small thing you can do right now to start building that momentum? Maybe it's reading one page or tidying one drawer or just taking one single deep breath. The journey starts with that first step. So, what's yours going to